and gas.
Were you
So
without power at all down there, Arturo,
yeah, it
or
was.
not?
I guess power was out and out for the whole week. There's people right now that still don't have power and light
Yeah. Whew. Man, I just
and
saw
water. So
the news report on it. That's crazy. It is
yep.
crazy. I've never seen anything like that from a distance in my life. I can only imagine what it would be like to live through that.
Yeah, people are again. Like I was telling Steve, I don't know. People they see the things coming, they don't prepare it, and then when they don't prepare, they just blame others. So like, come on, guys,
Yeah.
come on.
That's why we love you, dude. Hey,
Yeah,
I'll see y'all later. Have a good session.
thank you, my brother.
Hey, Justin, see you later. See you tomorrow.
All right, Larry. See you. Bye bye.
So on the pre foreclosure, yeah. So I'm gonna get that one's gonna be like I was telling Vernon. Uh, that property is worth probably like 190. They owe like 140. Maybe after the fees, they owe like 120, 125. That one, I'll take it. I'll take deed. I'll block the foreclosure, and then I think it looks clean. I haven't been in there. I just walked around it last week before this happened. I walked around it. I peeked through the windows. It looks clean. Again, I'll just clean it out. I'll owner finance it to somebody, probably at 165, 175 with 25K down, and then I'll take deed. I'll wrap it, and then I'll just fight with the bank until I get a good settlement payment, or I can even do a reinstatement if it makes sense. That we can reinstate. Let's say I have 40K between equity between what they owe and what the new buyers owe me. Let's say the reinstatement is like 10K. I'll ask them, can you put the reinstatement back at the contract? And if they can't, I'll just take over the payments and I'll just write it.
It's so different doing business in a non-judicial state because
Yeah, yeah,
judicial
definitely.
takes
That's
forever. Where you are, they don't fool around, man. I mean, so yeah, you got
Texas,
a
man.
huge advantage to you. You got a huge advantage there. That's great.
We have guns and we shoot them.
Yeah,
Um,
really.
so that's gonna be that one. Like a turban, the deal has to make sure it has equity for you to wrap it. If it doesn't have equity, then you can't wrap it. You can cash flow it, and he has a property. He's gonna cash flow. Um, and he's like, you did a couple of things backwards. Like when you cash flow it with the rent, you get an agreement with the seller, and then you tell what seller, I'm gonna take this on. I'm gonna pay for the attorney to block the foreclosure. I'll make sure that it stays under your name, and then give me 3 or 4 months to get somebody in there. And then once the 3 or 4 month comes, I'll start you the split, the property split. He did it backwards. He paid him already in advance the first month of the property split, and now he has to find a rentor. But it's okay.
You just
Again, we
broke
live
up
and we learn.
everything.
There's still money to be made there.
Everything you said, it was all broken
Sorry.
up. Yeah,
Okay.
go
So
back about
basically,
30 seconds.
the way. Okay. So the deal that Vernon has is good to cash flow. There's no equity on that deal, so that you can't wrap it. You can't sell it to somebody else because there's no equity. You're basically you can if you want to, but again, you're being unethical because you're selling something that there's no equity on it. Um, so the best way on that deal is to cash flow it, rent it out, but tell the seller, you know what? I'm gonna block the foreclosure. I'm gonna rent it in about 3 or 4 months. I'm gonna pay for the attorney, so I'm gonna start paying you in 3 or 4 months. That's the right way to do it. Unfortunately, he did it the other way around, where he started paying the what's it called, the tenant, the seller already in advance, the $500. I think it was paying them. There's still enough money to cash flow it, but now you're in a rush to cash flow it and to get somebody in there. So again, it happens. That's the pre-foreclosure cash cow. I use that method, but to wrap it. So the deal that I'm gonna get, the one that I was telling you about that they owe 110. That one has like 40K in equity.
Right.
So that one I'm gonna wrap it. I'll take it at 110. I'll wrap it at 165 with 20K down, so they owe me like 140. So I have 30K in the middle of equity that I can either negotiate with the bank to bring it down to like 100 payoff, or I can just reinstate it, maybe pay 10K and put it in the back end. I'll keep on making the payments. Now I owe the bank a monthly payment of maybe 1,000, and the new buyer, the wrapper, owes me 1,700 bucks a month. So I'm making the middle in cash flow. I cashed in the down payment, I kept it all, and then I kept the monthly cash flow, and then at the back end they owe me an extra 40K.
I
So
follow you.
That's the way that I wrap it up. You gotta make sure that it has equity to wrap it. If you don't, then just cash flow it. It's a rental. You block the foreclosure, get somebody in it to rent it, and that's why it's good to do that in higher end areas where the rents are like 2,500, 3,500.
Yeah.
That it makes in my area, the average rent is like $800, and that's most likely like 90% of your renters that can pay that amount.
Yeah.
There's no renters that can pay. There are some, like there's rarely like 1% that can pay you $3,500 a month for rent. It's not that type of area.
Yeah.
Houston, Dallas, Austin, yeah, you get a bunch of those. Not in my area. So that's why the wrap works for me better, but I got to make sure that it has equity.
Cool. You're a dangerous guy.
So yeah, so that's basically, and it works. And it works again. There's money again. If you get 3 or 4 a month of those, by the end of the year, you might be making around what $7,000-8,000 just in payments to you, cash flow, with
More
7
than that.
properties.
More than that.
Oh, more. Yeah, just with properties, you're not doing anything. You're not paying the insurance. You're not paying anything. You're not paying again, and it works.
Yeah.
Any questions, guys? Anything you guys want to talk about?
Hey, Arturo, what's up, man? It's Alan.
Alan?
Hey, question. Who do you have service the wraparound payments? Do you like do that, or do you have a company that does
I'm not
that?
that big yet, so I do it myself. I One of the things that I love when I used to be a lender, I used to manage 3,500 accounts.
Yeah.
So the ones that I have, I think I'm up to like 17 right now. Again, I manage myself. And one of the things that I love with the type of deals that I have, when the higher down payment that you ask for, the better quality of client you get. That you don't even have to call them; they'll just send you the money.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
why? And it's psychological, because somebody that can save 20, 30K of in down payment is not gonna lose it. It's someone that's responsible. So they literally, I don't have to do anything. And, plus I'm getting an extra 5K on that deal that I did back in November that I told you guys that I got 15K in the front end. I'm getting 5K this month. Plus I'm cash flowing $1,500 on that one, and the amortization just got extended all the way to April, and then once it hits April, it's gonna get extended once to probably to October, November. So I'm cash flowing $1,500 a month on that one. So again, but yeah, back to your original question. Yeah, I service all my accounts myself. I'm trying to get into, probably once I hit 3, then I'll get somebody in there to give them 10% to manage them. It's basically just to collect the payments, because I'm not renting. There's no issues as far as you fixing anything. But yeah, word to the wise, the higher the down payment you collect, the better client you get. And I have a couple of investors locally that were having issues, like, man, what's going on with all these things as far as what's called with all these things, people not paying. Like, man, you're asking too little of a down payment. You need to ask for a bigger down payment. You get a better quality client.
Good to know. Does that also apply to lease options? A larger down payment, better client?
Lease options, probably. Again, the mentality behind it is, ask yourself, who can save 30K down payment in the current economy? A lower income people, someone that makes 50K a year. Who can save 30K? Someone that's really responsible with their expenses. Someone that knows that they probably have to save $300 or $400 a month to save it. How long does it take? Probably 3 or 4 years to save that much with the income taxes and everything. So someone that really cares for that money. So that person is going to be really diligent and make sure that he doesn't lose it. So he makes sure that he pays you on a monthly basis the right way. So as far as the lease options, if you get 15K down for a lease option, yeah, that client, again, if the average income in your area is 50K, again, 15,000 is like 1/3 of their income that they had to save. And now remember, if you make 50K, you don't keep the 50K. You probably keep like 38 after your taxes and insurance, taxes and everything that you take off, and then you got your monthly expenses. So let's say you're working with around $1,000 a month in disposable, and you have to say half. That's someone that's really responsible.
Cool, man.
So again, it's a little tricks that I've learned through when I was a lender. I through tons and tons of credit bureau, and that they're responsible. Sometimes people they were never taught how credit works, and they just got it and they forgot about it. You know what I mean? So it happened. But in my area, the higher down payment that you get, the lower the issues with payments. So going back to that investor that I know, he was like, "Man, what's going on? How come these people I had to go to foreclosure with these people that are not paying?" But like, well, how much down payment are you collecting? 5,000, 3,000. Like that's why. How easily can somebody walk away from 5,000 like this? I'll walk away. But from 20K, nah, someone's not gonna walk away from 20K, and that's somebody else that's responsible. So he started doing that. He started asking 15K, 20K, and he won't have any issues. I know for a fact he won't have any issues with his reps.
Hey, Arturo, how big are these houses? Are we talking about like more than 2,000 square feet or less than?
Usually around 1,500 to 17.
Oh, okay, that's like cookie cutter stuff.
Where do
That's the
you
average house in my area.
where are you marketing to get those houses?
What was that?
What list or what kind of situation are you marketing to get the like the cash cow type of deals?
That's basically the pre-foreclosures. The cash cow deals are pre-foreclosures. Now, when before you got here, Vernon, it has to have equity for me to wrap it. If it doesn't have equity, then I gotta basically rent it,
Right.
cash flow it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're foreclosures.
Yeah. See, what Steve was saying is that I'm mainly working in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, and a fresh less pendants, it almost means nothing because the people got forever to deal with it. You know, they can file for bankruptcy. The bank is going to take at least 6 months to 9 months to foreclose.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm from New Jersey. The foreclosure is a 4-year process.
Now, remember, one of the things that I had to learn is like we hear, oh, you gotta get $100,000, 100,000 lists, or you gotta get 10,000 list records. All you need is 1 or 2 properties to lock up. You don't need,
right.
And that's why, man, I have to get all these lists. Like I don't. I had to make 3 deals work to make sure that I stay good with my expenses and my business. So I gotta make sure that when I actually get to those people that maybe have the option of what's called blocking the foreclosure, or they have months. Remember, this foreclosures come every single month. Constant follow-up. You know what, sir? Unfortunately, I understand you might have 6 months, but again, it doesn't seem like you're doing anything to fix it, right? Or am I incorrect? Okay, right. What if I fix that issue and I put some money in your pocket?
Right.
And then let me worry about it. You don't have to be rushing in the last month to try to fix it.
Right. I mean,
oh, perfect. You know what? I'll call you back in a month. It's one deal. Like, if you can commit 30 lists, 70 lists, or 100 lists, or 1,000 lists, I have to get more lists. I don't have to get more lists. I have to get more contracts. That means I got to be better at my closing ratio, which last year improved with Justin. And that's it. I can get, if you give me pre-foreclosures, if you give me 100 pre-foreclosures for the year, I'll probably close 15 deals out of that pre-foreclosure list.
Yeah, it's a whole nother ball game in a non-judicial state.
Yeah.
Here in judicial states, you can spend. Listen, my next door neighbor was 13 years in foreclosure. So I mean, I'm going after empty houses, vacant houses. But up in the Northeast, it's tough because you don't know what kind of condition that house is really going to be in when you open those doors and you want to put somebody in that house. I mean, you turn the utilities on and you got water leaking and all kinds of problems. So I don't know. You just got to go through it all and keep swinging the bat.
Yeah, with everything, every situation, yeah, every situation was gonna have its
Yeah.
its
Yep.
back draws and his upsides, everything. Uh, so, and if you're somebody that can roll with the punches and be resourceful, you'll make money in any type of what's it called situation. If you're somebody that's gonna say, "Oh, not my area," then maybe real estate is not for you. Maybe you should trade your hours for money,
Yeah.
because real estate is like that. Trust, real estate is something guaranteed. I get paid 1 month work, you're being consistent, and it happens. But again, that's real estate, and that's why we're here, because maybe one deal can pay for your whole year salary. Like this in one deal, you can coast for the rest of the year, or maybe that deal might never come. But if you quit in between, then you say it doesn't work. Well, I'll ask you, how consistent were you? Okay, for 6 months. Okay, there's people out there that were consistent for like 10 months, 11 months, 12 months until you get that first deal, and it made it real. But again, I don't know who said this, but when we stop being less depending on resources and become more resourceful with what we have, you'll be successful. Going back to my initial talk,
if this is the business model
people
that
like
someone, if this is the business model that someone chooses pre-foreclosures, you just got to work it. I mean, that's it.
yeah, it works if you work it. If you don't work it, it won't work. It won't work. Again, there's people, and that's the fallacy that people say, I want to retire in real estate. People don't retire in real estate. They work through their 90, 99, 100 years old. Real estate, it's a constant business. I don't want to retire from real estate. I want to be in real estate till I'm 90, 100. I want to get excited for a deal, talking to a client. And if you're looking for a retirement, maybe you should make 100K and put it in the stocks and just put it in the index fund and just make 10% a year. And maybe that's what you.
Maybe you make that a year.
Yeah, maybe. That's right.
Yeah. Could you help us with your process of how you handle doing pre-foreclosures?
Oh yeah, okay. So pre-foreclosure, again, we get the list. I filter it down. I usually get like around 8 good properties in my area. Good properties, not the ones that are like, oh, I have to be more creative and be complex. But let's say I get 8 good properties. I already know more or less what they borrow. I already know more or less what it's the value of the house, and I just drive it. I literally drive it, and then I showed the letter last time. The letter says that what I started doing is putting the letter saying, you know what, this person that was like you, everything's public information. So this person that was like you, they didn't listen to me. They didn't want to take my offer. I have pictures of the properties, how it was sold at auction. And then I wait for them to call me. Let's say that I drive them, I look at the picture, I put a note, looks good, no issues with the condition of the house, let's call them. I drop out the letter, they don't call me, they don't call me back, and I call them. And then guess what? Next week, they didn't answer me. I go again, knock on the door. Hey, you know what?
Yeah, you're breaking up for
My
for
boss
me.
sent me over here. I don't know. He also sent me to drop out an auction. It's already got it fixed already, right? You throw it at them. It seems like you already got it fixed, right? You know for a fact, yes, they got to fix it. Oh, you haven't? Oh, wow. Yeah, he told me that you might have already gotten it fixed since you haven't called them, and the auction's coming. You're like, oh, you haven't gotten it fixed? Okay. Well, what's the situation? Do you want to stay here, or you just want to have the bank take it back? Well, I don't want the bank take it back. Okay. Well, have you talked to an attorney to fix it, to block it? Do you have 20K in your bank to pay it so you get current? So you're trying to give them all the solutions that you know for a fact they don't have, right? And that's part of being able to talking good with the seller. Again, you're not giving good phone. You're literally giving good face-to-face conversations. You say, okay, no, I don't have it. Okay, so again, what are you gonna do, sir? Again, the auction's coming next week. And like the paper that I sent you, again, those persons that they don't reach out to us, they lose it completely. So let's say,
Yeah, breaking up for me.
you know what? Well, let's talk. Okay, perfect. So what do you want to do? So what's your solution? Okay, you want to stay here and lose it and get kicked out, or do you want to stay here for the next 10 days, maybe get a couple of thousand in your pocket, and have my boss fix it and take over the payments with you? Well, I don't want to lose it. Well, yeah, but you can't have both. Either you lose it, you stay here, or you move out and maybe get a couple of thousand in your pocket. What do you want to do? Once he agrees with it, perfect. Let me have a letter of intent. Have him sign something that says, you know what? If company A is able to stop the foreclosure and everything, I'm gonna get the deed to the property. And then once you have something under contract and something saying that you're gonna be the buyer of that property, then you talk to your attorney. Hey, attorney X, this is the property. I already have the letter of authorization. Let's call the bank. What's the reinstatement? You can have the actual seller call and ask for a reinstatement amount. whatever. Let's say it's too much, the reinstatement. Okay, let's block it. Before you block it, you gotta make sure they move out. Well, sir, okay, the only way my boss can solve this house from getting foreclosed and solve your credit is that you have to vacate the property. Again, he won't be able to give you any money until the house is vacant. Well, can he give me 10 days? Well, he give you 7 because he has to give you 10 days or 7 to move out. He comes here, he walks and makes sure it's empty. He gets the keys, and then he has to talk to the attorney, pay the attorney, block the foreclosure, and then pay you your $1,000 to move out of the house. And I know you're moving for your house, but at least you're not getting your house sold at auction. At least you're getting an option to move, and at least you're getting some money in your pocket. No, I know, sir, this is not. This might be not. It might be not for you. Maybe you can borrow from your brother, borrow $20K to pay the reinstatement amount, or pay the $3,500 to the attorney to fix it, and just basically put a band-aid on it. And then let's say they agree, perfect. Okay, you signed the agreement. Okay, you got 5 days to move out. Perfect. You know what? I'll even pay you for storage for right now. Pay you 2 months for storage, and pay the movers. Pay $100 for the movers.
Nice.
And then they move out, and then they go to their, again. Unfortunately, I don't want to get too involved as far as I'm not gonna get you an apartment to rent. That's you're becoming family. So you don't want to become family, because when it comes to the shake his man and you gotta rip the band-aid. Oh, but I thought you liked me. Yeah. No, this is business. You know what? I'll help you. The reason why I'm helping you get a what's it called, a place storage to put your stuff to store, is because that helps me. That helps the company have a vacant house. Now, as long as you move, again, it might be an hassle of a move, but I need you to be leaving somebody. And now you have a family. I know you have a family member that can give you shelter. No one's gonna kick you out. You have family members, you have brothers, you have sisters they can give you that. You know what I mean? And that's what I want you to understand, that I'm here to help you, but unfortunately I'm here to first make the company grow, and then as a side benefit you get helped a little bit.
Yeah. So you broke up a little bit. How are you paying off what they are in arrears? Is that how you handle that and get the foreclosure?
So let's say again, this business is to put as little money out of pocket as possible.
Right.
Now, let's say if the house is worth 150 and they owe 10,000 and the arrears is 30, maybe you put 30K, you send it off. I still wouldn't send it off. You block it, and then you play the game at your pace. You block the foreclosure, you tell the bank, no bank, you cannot foreclose on this property. You need to sit down and talk to me. As I'm representing the seller. Talk to me. What can we do? And that once you block it, it might take them 6 more months to reinstate the foreclosure. But you have 6 months to find out owner finance wrapper or whatever, and get whatever you want to get done at your pace. You're not being rushed. The only thing that's being rushed is the blocking area. If you have 10 days for the foreclosure, you get them out at 7. You have 1 day for the attorney to, hey, attorney, here's $1,000. Prepare the documents. Block the foreclosure. Give me the document that is blocked. Okay, now it's my time. It's already out of the auction block. Now what can I do with this property? Let me go in there. Let me okay, should we clean it? Maybe pay somebody to clean it, or can I just get somebody that loves this house, that's a handyman that can take it like as is? I don't want to clean it if I don't have to. I don't want to pay the arrears if I don't have to. So yeah, you try to put as minimal money out of the pocket as much as possible.
I see. So you're just stocking that, and then you're negotiating with the bank.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Usually, once I stop it, I'll have 6 months to do what I want to do with the property.
Okay.
I either want to maybe buy, maybe it's a flip. Maybe I can flip it. Maybe if I put 10K in the property, it might be worth 160, and the old balance of 110. I'll flip it before even the foreclosure comes in, the next foreclosure. And since I already took deed on it, I'm the owner. I haven't recorded the deed. I have the deed in my paperwork. Once I'm ready to sell, I'll record the deed, and then I sell as my company selling to the new buyer.
Gotcha.
In Texas,
I mean, I take deed, I take power of attorneys, I take letters of limitations. Again, I do a bunch of stuff to protect myself, to do what I have to do when it comes to doing what I have to do.
Right.
Arturo, in Texas,
And
where
that's
you are,
now. Remember, I don't need that many.
in Texas, where you are, someone gets served with a list pendants or whatever. They've got a certain amount of time, and then what happens? It goes right to auction. No, he didn't hear me.
Usually, once they send them the letter that you want, what's by law is 21 days.
Wow.
21 days to resolve it. If they don't resolve it, then again, and then they get a letter notice to sell.
Wow.
Again,
Just
we don't
like us in New York and New Jersey, right, Vernon?
Yeah,
Wow.
I bet it's different in different states, and that's why I don't live my state. I love my state.
Love.
Love your state.
Yeah, it's
Love the
totally
state.
different in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware. It's just different. New York, it's just different. You get somebody with a less pendants. If they get the less pendants last month, believe it or not, the least of their concerns is foreclosure. The least of their concern is foreclosure because they got a lot of
But remember, are there still being foreclosures being done where they're actually go to foreclosure?
Yeah, so what I've been thinking and doing is trying to go after the people who have an auction date. So say if it's like 15, say if it's like 20 properties going to auction, you can best believe maybe 7 or 5 might actually go to the auction. Maybe. Because it's going to be postponed, it's going to be they're going to enter bankruptcy or something like that.
Gotcha.
Okay. One other thing that you can do that I've been doing is put him in the timeline. You know what, Mr. X, that seller that had that property that sold at auction was in your position 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's your timeline. Now,
Mm-hmm.
out of the last 100 auctions, 90 went to actually foreclosure and they got foreclosed. But here's where you're at right now. You're at this timeline. Now you have 6, 7, 8 months to figure out. Maybe your concern right now is not foreclosure, but that was the same concern with that person 6 months ago. The concern wasn't even the foreclosure, but they got foreclosed. They had
Mm-hmm.
6 months to do something, and they didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm in the business. Again, my boss is in the business. He tells me this. Like, he tells me, you know what? And these people, they see 6 months, they think it's 20 years. 6 months come like this. And unfortunately, this person this 123 Main Street guy thought that 6 months was forever. And he didn't do anything, and it got foreclosed. And now I'm seeing this, and it's not only you, Mr. and Mrs. X. There's tons of people that I see that pattern. They think that 6 months is forever, and then it's like little trees, like little dominoes, boom. 1 falls, 2 falls, 3 falls, they close.
Mm-hmm.
The 5 months become 4, the 4 become 3, the 3 becomes 2, the 1 becomes 10 days, 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're calling me with 5 days. Unfortunately, I'm working with somebody that I was able to work with 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
That was more concerned of what they would have to do with the house. Unfortunately, I can't do anything unless you give it for free. If you give it for free, I might be able to stop my attorneys from working on those other deals that he has more time, paying double the time to get this done before the auction date, which is 3 days from now.
Mm.
See, those are the conversations that you tell them. You're foreshadowing them future. I'm showing you the future, Mr. X. This is gonna happen, and the reason why I'm telling you the future is because I see it every single month. I'm in this business. You might not see it because I buy houses for a living. You only sell houses probably once or twice in your lifetime, and I see the situations coming every single month where they think that 10 months it's forever, and it's not. So would you rather have a time to maybe negotiate? Maybe it takes us 3 months to negotiate. It takes 3 months to negotiate, and we get something done. But you take yourself from foreclosure, you get some money in your pocket. But if you want to negotiate with 10 days, who has the leverage in 10 days of negotiations? Me, not you. Me. I'm gonna try to get the deal for our company. Right now, you have the leverage because you have time. You don't have that much time, but you have some time. So if you want to work with me, let's negotiate. You have a little more of a negotiation bargain right now that you have time. But you call me back in 9 months, you have 10 days. Shit, I'm gonna ask you for the house for free. Yeah. The only thing I'm gonna give you is that I'm gonna block the foreclosure and getting your credit ruined. That's it.
Hey, Verna.
Now, those are the Jesus talks.
Yeah.
You're telling.
Where do you get the houses that it's that goes before to auction, like 10 days before, like you said?
Well, what's the guy that does that's the short sale guy? Maybe about a month and a half ago, 2 months back, he talked about this service called RedX, and I use that. It is segregate the foreclosures in two categories: pre-foreclosure, auction date, and REOs, and that's what I use. But I also do the less pendants, and my strategy, what I'm doing now is concentrating on the auctions, but also trying to, there is like in the judicial states, it's like a little gap there before the bank filed the less pendants. Like this property right here, they didn't set a foreclosure date, and the guy been behind. He hasn't made a payment for almost a whole year, you know. So sometimes I get a bad credit list, and sometimes I can find the person before the bank puts it for auction or before the bank puts the less pendants in. If you can get them before the less pendants drop, it's a lot more. It's a lot less competition. But the pre-foreclosures, there's a ton of competition. You can go to somebody's house and see, like, they have the fly. I went to one person's house. They had like 5 or 6 flyers on mailers on the table that they've been getting. But that conversation, the conversation that Arturo was just saying, I'm gonna incorporate that with like my conversation that I had with the sellers.
Perfect.
Yeah.
If you've got a way to contact these people right before they go into right before a list pendant gets recorded, you got it made. If you can find that list and work those, because once that list pendant is recorded, they're in foreclosure.
Everybody knows about that.
And that really kicks their credit. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I bought a lot of lists. I did 1, 2, 3, 4 deals. All of my deals came from the bad credit list.
There you go. You just answered it.
All of my deals came from the bad credit list. And then the bad credit list, you can recycle them because people don't clean up bad credit in 3 months and 4 months.
You don't need new data. Again, bad credit is bad credit. Again,
right.
And
right.
You need, in order for you to need new data, is that you talk to every single person and you had a 10-minute conversation with them. It's impossible.
Right.
I haven't bought data in years. Like in at least 2 years, I haven't bought any new data for my local area. Because it's the same. It's just the same.
And bad credit list is the same as Red X? You get on Red X too?
No. I get that from somewhere else. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I've been in real estate before, but I was just doing fix and flip. So when I got back into it, June 8th of last year, I was going to do the creative real estate and stuff like that. So You know, I'm always, shooting and aiming, adjusting and stuff like that. Even with the with the skip tracing and all that kind of stuff.
There you go. And remember, guys, all you need is one deal, guys. One deal a month, and you're more successful than probably 90% of the people out there that do real estate.
I'm in Illinois. I can only do one wholesale deal a year here, unless you double close or.
Get a deal where the seller's willing to do whatever it takes, and you're golden. And that's part of learning how to talk to people. Again, I don't give enough praise to Justin and Claude. That's what helped me, being able to have those gutful conversations. That's one thing that's helped me. Because again, I was an asshole before, but I was an asshole not asking the right questions. Now I'm an asshole asking the right questions. The questions that hurt me a little bit, like I cringe a little bit when I ask them.
Right,
those are the questions that give me the money.
Right, that's something that
those are the questions that put money in.
Yeah, that's something I'm actively trying to get better at, because I know from June 8th until now, to be honest, I probably left maybe about minimum three deals on the table, minimum, not asking the right questions. Right.
Well, when you can't close them, you should have somebody else follow up on them.
Yeah,
right.
And that's
a month later,
having your network.
Yeah.
But again, it sucks when like, oh, I should have asked that question.
Yeah.
Do it there. And the thing about being on the phone, again, I was telling you last time, I cringe a little bit. Well, how about this? And I go like, oh shit, I asked it. And it hurts me. Like internally, emotionally, I ask it. And it hurts me, but I still ask it. They still hear it. I ask it, I put up. You know what I mean? Ah, shit, I said it. It's like talking to your girlfriend. Hey, do you want to kiss? It's hard. Like if you just knew this lady, and now you're asking for a kiss, that's gonna be the toughest question. Do you want to go out with me? That's the toughest question. That's what people send in the text. Do you want to go out? That's the worst move. But when you're on the phone, hey, you want to go out with me? And put it on mute. Ah, shit! I don't know what she's gonna say.
Bro, that was excellent. That's just the worst move.
It's the worst way, yeah. And it works. If you do a mass text, you probably get the one person that can respond, yes, I want to sell my house. But if you call him on the phone and you tell him, oh, so what the fuck is going on? And you put mute, he has to respond to you there and then. He has to come to the table, have the Jesus talk. Yes, I'm fucking losing my house.
Yeah.
What can I do?
I think the texting is good for you to get the initial response. If they respond to you and you yourself send out 3 texts to them and they respond them, I got this rule. I don't even send the 4th response out. I pick up the phone and call them. If they respond to the first text, I send another text to respond. By the fourth text, no more texting. They'll pick up the phone. Now they're going to answer the text more than they're going to answer.
And the best one.
Go ahead.
Yep. One of the things if you guys text 100 people and you get like 3 or 4 fuck off, call those. Call those and see how you react to an asshole client. You know he's mad already. You call him. Hey, yeah, I got a text reply. So it sounds like you probably might be not interested in selling your house, right? I fucking told you to fuck off. Okay, yeah, I understand. That's, again, I apologize for being out of the blue again, but I gotta tell my boss he made me call you. So now you're like, oh, now I'm weaving, now I'm boxing you, because I already know he's an asshole. He's a dead deal, but I'm learning how to box and weave and duck. Now I'm sharp. So now when I get somebody that tells me, yeah, oh shit, I'm on it. I'm gonna be like Muhammad Ali. I'm gonna be like a butterfly, because now I took the shit from the bad guy, and now I'm ready. And now this guy's he's laying down. Shit, I'm gonna be sharp. I'm gonna be asking the tough questions, because before I talked to the asshole client, and I still stayed in the ring. Simple as that. The fuck offs, call them. Call him. See how you react. See how you react when you get punched in the face. And you can react good. Maybe the first time you don't react good, but after a while that they punch you so much that you become numb. You don't even feel the punch anymore. All you do is your head goes back. That's it.
I'm reacting to people now. Whenever they come back, I'll come back at them.
And then you that's how you build that strength, and you build that energy, that what's it called, the confidence. Yeah, I can take this guy's call. He's being an asshole on the phone. I bet you if I'm in front of him, he won't tell me half of what he's telling me. But like the rap says, you turn trigger fingers to Twitter fingers. You're a tough guy online. You're not tough when I'm in front of you. And you bet you for a fact you're not a tough guy when I'm talking to you. Okay, yeah, you told me fuck off. What does that mean? Because again, my boss is trying to he's gonna ask me to say what does that mean, fuck off. I know what fuck means, but off, like, where do I go from here? I'm telling you to hang up. Oh, okay, so you're telling me to hang up. Okay, it's perfect, understandable, and I apologize. I apologize for being an asshole, Mr. X. But again, if you're an asshole to me and I hang up on you, then my boss is gonna fire me. Unfortunately, I gotta feed my family, so you being an asshole to me, I can take it. I can't take my wife telling me, hey, there's no food in the pantry. I can't take that. So now you're at level 11 playing field with a guy. Oh, this guy's just working for his money to feed his family. Okay, maybe I shouldn't be asshole to. Maybe I shouldn't be asshole to. So that's the way I handle the calls. And again, that's why I learned my boss and having the guts to you know what, I apologize. So when you say fuck off, exactly what does that mean? Again, I apologize. Again, I was born in a Christian family that, again, we don't use bad words. So when you tell me fuck off, I know fuck is a bad word, but I don't understand the correlation between the two words. You have fun with it. You know what I mean? You're being an asshole to them because you know what it means, but you're having fun. You're staying in the ring. You're not getting punched and walking away. You're getting punched and you're like, okay, I took your first punch. What's next?
If you're able to hang in there with that guy, you might be able to put a deal together.
Yep. Oh, yeah. He's gonna remember you, man. Yeah. I can't believe that guy doesn't know what fuck off means. Right? You remember me. You're not gonna be. Oh, I'm so sorry. You're not gonna remember that guy. You're gonna remember the guy that was a funny asshole to you back. I don't know what that means. So again,
it reminds me of the.
It's just people.
Last Halloween, I saw a sign. The guy had take one piece of candy. Now fuck off.
Yeah, like Mister. Where do I get the fuck ups here? I have the candy part, but where do I put it in my bag or something? Again, that's not fun, guys. Again, don't try to be too rigid. That's why we left the 9-to-5 business to become the person that, as far as business owners, so you don't have to be too perfect. If you mess up, I apologize, Mr. X. I wish I knew what that answer to that question was. Again, if I was in a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I wouldn't be a millionaire because I don't know that answer. But guess what? I can get my boss, and he can give me that answer. Just give me 2 minutes. Hold, and you learn the question. You learn the answer right away. Being able to move and weave and take the punch and stay in there, that's gonna make the difference.
Hey, Arturo.
Go ahead, brother.
As far as padding the rope goes, I know we have the pattern rope about, hey, calling about the letter. Did you get my letter? Is there any other pattern ropes that we can use?
Yeah. Again, let's say we're calling like that. Did you get my letter? Hey, you never called me. There was a fire last week in that house. What are you talking about? Yeah, there's a fire. What do you mean there's fire? Yeah, my boss, again, he has a connection with the fire department, and he bought a house because somebody's house burned out. Was this yours? Because I'm trying to figure out which house was it. Had to interrupt. They're gonna hear you.
Yeah.
They're gonna hear you out. And remember, nobody wants to sell their house. Like I was telling you on the last week before that. If somebody wants to sell their house and they're hearing you that your boss bought a burnt house in that area, and he's buying houses in that area, and they're hearing you, if they're having any interest to sell the house, they're gonna raise their hands. Remember, yes. People might have the worst credit. They might have pre-foreclosures, but if they don't want to sell, there's nothing you can do to make them sell to you. Nothing. They'd rather lose it. Those are not closable deals. You know what I mean? All you want is somebody to hear you out And if they have any interest, they'll raise your hand. And if they can understand you as far as being somebody different, they might call you. I just got a call yet right now when I was driving about a property that I called like 8 months ago. Now he wants to sell it to me again. But now he was at 65 before. Now he's at 85. But he called me back. He's like, "Oh wow, I thought it was already sold. What happened?" "Oh, okay, it didn't pass inspection." "Oh wow, yeah, I told you it didn't pass inspection. You put extra money for it, and you weren't gonna pass inspection. I told you again. I try to be a good guy, but you slapped me and you hung up on me. You called him out on his bullshit, and now he wants to sell it. Now he wants to sell it. He's gonna sell it at my terms. Now I have the upper hand. Now I have the leverage. So that's more or less how I deal with it. Again, just being able to stay sharp as far as pattern interrupts. They're good enough, but you gotta be able to put your cues as far as buy houses, firehouse, broken into house. My boss bought one down the street. This is your street. That's the house we bought. Do you want to sell your house?
Right.
If they hear all that, and then they still say no, then you were never gonna close that deal. No matter what, you were never gonna close it because he has no interest in selling.
Mm-hmm.
But Arturo, he has a pre-foreclosure. I understand, but people don't want to sell it.
Yes.
People just don't want to sell it. Again, there's something you can do, but he's gonna lose it. I understand, but he doesn't want to sell it. It's
yes.
He's like you reason with an unreasonable person. You can waste your time. You can try to convince him and do 1 + 1 = 2, and this happens. But if he doesn't want to sell it, he's never gonna sell it to you. You can't make him understand. Let's say he's a colorblind person and you're trying to tell him, "Hey, can you tell me what's that color and what's that color?" He's colorblind. No matter what you can tell him, he's never gonna figure it out.
Yes.
So they heard you that your boss bought a house nearby and they still didn't raise your hand. Perfect. Boom. You know what? Let's follow up with this guy maybe in 6 months. Maybe his situation changes 3 months before the foreclosure instead of 6, or maybe a month before the foreclosure instead of 2. But remember, that's the pattern interrupt is just for them to hear you out, for them not to hang up on you.
Yeah.
And then once they hear you out and they still don't raise their hand, it's not a closable deal. But you already spoke to him, so it's no longer a cold call. Now it's a warm follow-up call. I'm sorry, guys. I'm dealing with a freaking toothache. Oh, it's killing me. But again, I gotta get it done, right? Any other questions, guys?
Arturo, does a bankruptcy actually stop a foreclosure, or is it just?
Yeah, again, going back, I have to say this. I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving you any legal advice, but yes, if I was in the position that I was going to lose my house, a bankruptcy 7 or a 13 will block the foreclosure. And it's on YouTube. Go YouTube. How do I stop foreclosures with bankruptcy? You go online, you print some documents, you sign them up. You go to your bankruptcy court. You pay, I think it's like $350, but you can divide it into 3 payments. Block it. Don't get the bankruptcy court filing. Then you go to the trustee. Hey, I filed bankruptcy. Here you go. Okay, let's take it out, and they block the foreclosure. They put it on for the next one. And you have to meet the creditors, etc., etc. All this is on YouTube, guys. By the way. That's why I tell you, YouTube. It's a YouTube university.
Arturo, you're the man.
Yeah, Larry, you can block foreclosures. All right, brother. Be safe.
You're the man. You're the man. I really enjoy being on here with Fridays with you, man. But stay warm. I gotta go. Take care, buddy.
Last week.
Thanks for the information.
Take care. Likewise, brother. Be safe. Oh, so last week, the reason why I wasn't on, because I was moving. And I couldn't get everything lined up. So I moved on Friday. And then we got the cold front on Saturday. Friday night, Saturday. So it went crazy. And I was like, I don't have internet right now at the house, but I have the Wi-Fi here, the hotspot. I was like, let me do it. I can't miss 2 weeks in a row. So, and I'm driving, so I'm good.
Hey Arturo, about bankruptcy. I saw this owner. Their bankruptcy got dismissed, and they're still in pre-foreclosure. When a bankruptcy gets dismissed, what does that mean?
It gets dismissed because they failed to make the payment. There's two. There's a dismissed, that means they missed a payment, or discharged, that means they went through the bankruptcy structure of payments and they finalized it, they get discharged. So when you're dismissed, that means they failed to either go to meet the creditors, or they failed to make the payments as scheduled. So the bankruptcy court dismissed them. They removed the protection from it. Now the banks can go again and foreclose on it. But you can file twice on yourself, twice on your wife, twice on the land trust, and twice on the so 6 times. You can file 6 times if you know what you're doing. So let's say that person, they filed bankruptcy, they got dismissed, so they removed the protection. If that's the first time they filed, they can probably file a second. And if they're married, they dismiss that one again, and then so you can probably get like 2 years worth of blocking the foreclosure.
All right, good to know. Thanks, man.
Yeah. All right, my guys. I'll stay here 20 minutes because I wasn't here on Friday last week. Any questions? Ask me questions, guys. Keep my brain warm.
Everyone in my area is getting above asking multiple offers, and they're not hearing. They're not hearing the creative solutions. What do you suggest?
Okay. Are those on pre-foreclosures or where?
Oh no, this was my first text blast to FSBOs, for sale by owners.
Oh yeah, you need to get off the FSBOs, because if everybody's getting above asking on the for sale by owners, on the people that are raising their hand, yeah, but we need to look at the people that they don't want to raise their hands. People that have code violation liens, people that have water shut off notices, people that have bad credit, like Vernon said. People that have what's it called, tax star due, people that don't want to sell, they need to sell, but they're so embarrassed or they don't want to show nobody that they need to sell. The hoarders, again, the code violations, the driving for dollars with the broken windows. Again, the for sale by owners, for me, again, those are the people that are the easy ones. Of course they're gonna take your call, because they're gonna, of course they're gonna take your call. Those are the lay downs. But of course, if there's only like 10 and there's 20 investors, of course they're gonna get above asking. But we need to focus on the ones that are not, they don't have their house for sale. People that want, they need to sell, but they don't want to sell. Those are the ones you gotta conversate with. So switch your strategy as far as getting the fruit that's already on the table. You're literally going to Walgreens and picking from the shelves which house you want to buy, but you gotta have money, the top dollar money. But now you gotta go to the actual agriculture. You gotta go to the field and pick the tomatoes from there.
True. Thanks, man.
So
and filter. I would probably filter 60 to 90 days.
Yeah.
They've been on the market longer, a little bit more motivated.
Yep.
Yeah, I just started that VIP quick start course, and that was like the first video I watched. So I followed that. So
Oh, gotcha. Nice.
I'll call some agents in your area again. Hey, Mr. Agent, my boss told me to call you. He wants to buy properties that are listed, and again, he'll give you the commission, Mr. Agent. But he wants to look at just specific properties that failed to pass the appraisal or failed to pass the inspections. Do you have any of those? He's like, no, I don't. Okay, well, keep it in touch. If there's 30 agents, that's 30 calls you got to do. Calls.
Nice.
Not email. Calls.
Appraisals and inspections. Okay.
Hey, Arturo. When it comes down to regular, FISBOs or regular houses, a lot of people are asking, for prices that doesn't make sense. When it comes to negotiating with these people, what would be good terms? Let's say, hey, listen, I'll pay this price, but if he appraises for this price, you pay the closing costs and you pay the whatchamacallit, the inspection as well. Is those three strong when it comes down to buying a property?
It depends on what you're doing. Like again, if you're getting it as a lease option, or again, put yourself in the buyer's position. I'm not gonna pay something that's over the value of what it's actually worth. I'm not that rich about it. And again, I'm an investor, Mr. X. I'm not gonna live here. Again, so first of all, you need to make sure the numbers make sense. Let's say you want to have fun with the seller. Okay, Mr. Seller, you're telling me that your house is worth $300,000. Okay. Now there's 3 houses like yours in your area that sold for $250,000. Can you please, again, the reason why I'm asking, and I apologize for asking this question, Mr. Seller, but I know my boss is gonna ask me, and I'd rather you shoot me up than my boss shoot me up. My boss can fire me. You can't fire me. So can you help me explain to my boss why you say your house that's the same thing as the other houses, but it's not rehab, is worth more than what these houses sell for? Give me like 3 things that you think they're better, so I can write it down so I can show it to my boss.
So basically, you know, they're not answering because what's making the value now, it's the people that are buying. It's like the freaking momentum of stocks, right? The stock the stock that went up was because of people.
Yeah, unfortunately, in real estate it's different. I don't buy real estate for future expectations.
Right.
I buy real estate with what I can see and what's been sold. And that's why you gotta tell them, oh yeah, well my house is gonna be worth $300,000 when the railroad comes by. Okay, well, do you want to sell it to me right now, or you want to sell it to me in 3 years when the railroad comes by? Well, I want to sell it to you right now. Okay, is the railroad already here? No. Well, I can't buy it on future expectations. That's not how real estate works, Mr. X. Can you bet on me that I'm gonna be a millionaire and bet $100,000? But I am. Well, I won't bet on you because I don't know exactly. You don't know, and that's why you tell them. I don't buy on future expectations. I buy as is. Maybe your house might rent for $3,000 a month, maybe, but it's not renting. Right now it's renting for $1,000. I gotta buy it based on what's renting right now, not in the future ones. Unless you want to fix it, put some money into it, and then sell it to me when it's rented for $3K, then I can sit down with you. Now, am I being unreasonable, Mr. X? Am I being reasonable enough to tell you that I'm buying on what it's actually doing right now? Not what's going to be worth in the future when these things happen. That's the only way you can. Again, you can't make the deal work. Again, the good thing they're already talking to you, and they're hearing you out. Now you gotta go in there and ask them those tough questions. Okay, can you help me explain to my boss why you think that your house is worth this much when you say it's gonna be worth this much when these things happen, but unfortunately these things haven't happened, and this house are kind of the same as yours, sold for $100K less than yours. Now I'm being reasonable. Can you tell me more or less what can I tell my boss? Well, no, I don't know. You tell your boss what the fuck you want. Okay, perfect. You know what? It sounds like we're not gonna make a deal right now. I appreciate you talking to me, and let me see. I can call you back in 6 months. Maybe this happens in 6 months, and I can buy it then. My loss now, and then you hang up on one, and then you call him back in 6 months.
Right.
Again, if it's not a deal, it's not a deal. But if it's not a deal, have fun with it.
Property here in Vegas that they've been trying to sell off and on since, I think he said December of 2018. And it's a property that can be converted into a 4-unit and make about $3,800 a month in gross rent. And it's got a price just under $300,000. So that's pretty good. If you think about picking up a property, now it needs about $50,000 was his estimate to do some of the renovations or upgrades to convert it. It has, the meter's got to be broken out. It is in a zoned area where you should be able to do the conversion. But think about getting one property for $300,000 that can bring in a rent of $3,800. I mean, you typically don't find that in that price point. So that's a pretty good opportunity there. So we're going to try to do some creative financing sellers on that one. So again, since we have to put about conversion, we want to try for not to have to put in all the capital it takes to actually purchase it and title fees and all that good stuff. So it's very similar to almost converting something into an Airbnb or converting it into residential assisted living, which actually takes more capital than that. But Airbnb, you might spend 20, 30,000 to convert. But that's what we're looking at. So, hang on, someone else is trying to come in here.
But yeah, definitely. Again,
one
of the things that I tell sellers is,
yeah, I'll bring up Jerome's property. I like to bring it, remind me on that one.
One of the things that I tell sellers, like, okay, perfect. Yeah, you say it's gonna be worth this much. Okay, so when can I see it once you fixed it up and down so I can come and buy it once you do all the work and get all the permits and get all the job done? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you got cut off there.
Yeah, my bad. I'm driving right now, but there's some areas that the signal goes out. But yeah, guys, again, if it's not a good deal, it's never gonna be a good deal. If the person is willing to negotiate with you as far as terms, then it's gonna be. If you can get terms on any deal is gonna be a deal because you get terms. I'll give you $1 million for your house if you pay $1 a month. Shit, I'll give you $1 million every day. If you're asking me to pay $1 a month, yeah, I'll pay you. No matter if the house is worth 100,000, I'm giving you $1 million. Yeah, it'll take me the rest of my life to pay it. But you gotta have those talks with conversations with sellers. You're selling me on future expectations. We don't buy on future expectations. Are you telling me that's the only way you'll sell it on future expectations? Yes. Okay. Sounds like we're not gonna make a deal. Again, I wish you the best, and then you hang up and you follow up with him in 6 months. See how he feels then. You know what I mean? Again, not every single deal is gonna be a deal unless you get terms. If you get terms, you can probably make anything work. Can you guys hear me?
Off and on.
Yes, sir.
I apologize. See now it's been like this all the time. Now T-Mobile is I'm at 3G instead of the 4G. So it's going up and down. It's been like that because a lot of people are using the internet right now since they're home. But yeah, guys, that's basically it. I hope I answered the question. I hope I wasn't that choppy with what's it called, with the phone and everything and the internet access. But yeah, go ahead.
No, we got you all right, Arturo.
Okay, Larry. All right, thanks, man. Any other questions, guys? Talking to seller.
Yeah. Arturo, is there a maximum price cap that works for lease option? Like you lease up?
It goes by area. Like in my area, I think anything under 200K works. But again, in California, anything under $1 million works. Maybe even more. So that's one of the things that I tell everybody. You got to know your market. You got to learn and know your market like it goes back of your hand. What works, how it works, what people are buying, at what prices they're buying, and then being able to ask the question to the seller that actually make the right decision as far as the Jesus talk. Now you gotta face me, Mr. X. Now I'm not hearing your phone. Now you gotta face me. Answer those questions the right way. And if it doesn't make sense, it makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, make me understand, Mr. X. I want you to make me understand how you're coming up with your math. Because when I was raised, 1 + 1 = 2. But based on your math, 1 + 1 might equal 10. Now, I know I'm not the sharpest knife in the shed, but again, I gotta answer this question to my boss, and if I don't get an answer, I might get fired. So can you please help me out a little bit?
Yeah,
hey,
man.
Arturo.
Go ahead.
Hey, so you said just about any deal, if you can get terms, you can pretty much make any deal work if you can get terms?
Yep. Any deal that you terms they may work. Why?
So,
let's say the house is worth 300,000 per se.
Yeah.
They want 400,000. Okay.
Right.
Let's say it rents for $1,000.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll pay you the 400,000, Mr. X. But I gotta pay you a monthly rent of $500, and I gotta cash you out in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he agrees. You feel an agreement. Guess what you do? You rent it for 1,000, right? So you bought a house that's that's overvalued, but you're cash flowing every single month. You're making $400 cash flow, right?
Okay.
Let's say year 5 comes by. The value of the house is still 300K, and he still wants 400K. You know what, Mr. X? Here's your house back. I can't buy it.
Are you saying if this house was free and clear with no mortgage, or are you saying even if it was a mortgage?
Well, if let's say there was a mortgage,
Yeah.
and let's say he owes 700, and the
Right.
rent's for 1,000. You know what?
Right.
I'll pay mortgage. That's it.
Got it.
Next 5 years, and then I'll buy it at 400K in 5 years. In the meantime, you make it. Now you ask yourself, is it worth the $300 a month headache?
Right.
If take it on.
Okay.
If it's not, it's not. I'm thinking if it's a 400K home and he's paying 300K, you can probably rent it for like around 2,000.
So it basically comes down to whatever you can get, the lowest you can get on. It depends on how low you can get the monthly or whatever you guys agree on, and you can get over that.
The spread between how much you're gonna pay the seller and the spread of how much the renter's gonna pay you or the rapper's gonna pay you. Now, you can only make these deals work when you rent them, because when you wrap them, you can't wrap them, because if they're selling it to you for 400,000, that means you gotta sell it for 100, 410, 420. It's never gonna be that. So all you do is rent it.
Right.
You don't even do a lease option. You
just do a straight lease.
It's not a straight yearly.
Yeah, got it. Okay, appreciate it.
So that's why if you can get terms, everything. Likewise. So again, everything works. If you can get terms and you can make somebody reasonable, anything works, and you can make money in anywhere. But you gotta ask the tough questions. So you're making me pay you 400K for this house. You gotta give me something, bro. Again, I know I'm not bright, but you can't make me pay you 400K and you want $2,500 a month. Again, that's not reasonable. If it is what it is, again, I can't do that. Again, you 400K, but charge me $500, $1,000 a month and more in rent, knowing that you can. Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, I mean, someone's telling me, hey, they're willing to like do a lease option, but this happens to be like a high end of the market, and he's like, yeah, man, this is a very big house. Like, let's just say it's like 900,000. He's like, it would have to rent at 12,000 to make sense. And I'm like, well, how am I gonna make money on this?
That I had to remove is my financial what's called situation right now, that I say, like, let's say I make 200K a year. That's not everybody's. There's people out there that they're making 200K a month.
Oh, okay.
If there's renting, if your house rents for 12,000, but and there's people out there in the area, and you look, wait, there's not other owners, these are renting. There has to be somebody out there that can rent for that much. So for me, 12,000, shit, I ain't gonna rent for that. But for other people that are making $200,000 a month, that's nothing. So that's what I had to remove myself. My mentality that wire or the seller, oh, the house is worth 100. He's never gonna take 20. You never know if you don't ask questions. Will you take 20? Yeah. Why? I just want to sell for 20. Okay. I thought you were gonna sell for 100. No, I want 20. It's their mentality, not mine. I wouldn't sell for 20. Shit, I'll sell for 50 because I'm thinking for them. No, just ask questions, and you know what? You want to rent it for 17,000? Yeah, I'll rent it for 17,000. Where do I sign? You want a 2-month deposit? Yeah, here's 34,000. Where do I sign? There's people out there that have tons of money, guys. Tons of money.
I didn't think about it like that. That's
Like
cool.
it's like a dollar bill. So you need to learn how to do that. Remove your mentality. Oh, he's probably gonna say no. No, don't put your mindset on other people's mindset. Ask a question. Let them answer. Any other questions, guys? I need more caffeine in my body. Any questions, guys? Am I frozen? Good, I'm good.
Hey, thanks for your time today, Arturo.
Thank you. I apologize for last week. And I was like, nah, I can't miss 2 weeks in a row, man. I gotta lie. So I charged my battery pack. And I'm running on 44% on my MacBook, getting it done.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys.
Glad
Hey,
you got through all that mess last week.
yeah. Hey, the winter punches in the face. I still stay in the ring. Hey, oh shit, that was a big punch. Man, you have a strong left. Hey, but you didn't knock me down. I'm still here. I'm not complaining. I don't want Ted Cruz to come back and fix. But let the guy go on vacation. There was this guy that said it is survival of the fittest. It might not be politically correct, but it's survival of the fittest. Only the strong survive, and nature has a way of weeding out the weak. You want to live in a fantasy world? Go ahead. We don't live in a fantasy world. You want to say that money doesn't solve problems? It does. You want to say that money is not everything? Unfortunately, money solves a lot of things, and it is what it is. Now, you want to play in the real world, or you want to be in your fantasy land? I want to play in the real world, even though it's harsh, even though it's tough. I want to be realistic with that. So again, he who can adapt and be strong will always survive. In business, he who is sharp and is willing to adapt will always have a job. He who is weak and sees the first stumble in life and takes a ride and goes on his own, he's not going to survive. So it is what it is. I rolled with the punches. They got hot, then it was real cold, and it got colder, and then we had no heat, and then we had this, and we had no water, and there was no gas. I was like, bring it. We're tech. We have guns, and we had cowboy hats, and we were cowboy boots. Again, we don't back down for anything, and that's in general in life. Never back down for anything. Take it with stride. Take a punch, but also give a punch. Any other questions, guys? Am I still alive? Can you hear me? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes.
Perfect. Any other questions, guys? We got 8 minutes. Ask me anything.
What would you recommend at this point to buy your first home?
Right now, it's a seller's market. Everything's like in my area, everything's selling like Alan said. Everything's selling top dollars. Negotiate with somebody that doesn't want to sell. Get a pre-foreclosure. Get a list pendants account. List pendants house. What's it called? Make sure you negotiate the terms right. Again, even if you have good credit, don't pay $10 for anything. Again, the thing is, like, if we know how the real estate works, why would you even want to consider paying top dollar for something? Why? So you go out there, you look at your pre-foreclosures, you look at your vacant houses. You know what? I might get this deal for myself where it's worth 300K. They want 100K. Maybe I negotiate terms, small payment to them. I fix it up. Then I get a bank to lend me 150. It's worth 300K. I just captured 150K in equity. Just because I knew how to ask the right questions, look in the right place, negotiate the right term, fix the right things in the house to pass inspections, and then get a bank to come and cover the risk. Again, you don't buy retail. Don't like milk. You can't buy milk at this. Anything else is negotiable. You know what I mean? Especially houses. Especially a house that's already fixed. You know what, ma'am? Yes, it has $7 worth of lumber, but that's it. The lumber has to be used for that. It cannot be used to make a table no more. It's used for a roof. That's it. It lost its purpose. It's not multi-use anymore. Now let's work something out. Again, I'm trying to buy it. If you want to sell your house, man, I'm your best bet right now in front of you in the cold. Let's negotiate something. Now, if you don't want to sell it, then tell me. And if you're in the market to buy a house, yeah, do that. Look for the golden deals, the ones that you can negotiate, and the ones that you know the value of the house as it stands, and you know the value of the house once you fix it up. And then, okay, let's negotiate with this. This one makes sense. You don't pay retail when you don't have to, especially houses. You can negotiate prices down real low, but not from the FFBOs, because people are reselling and they're getting tons of calls. You get discounts from people that are not, they don't want to sell. They don't even know they want to sell. They have issues with their house and with the code violations, et cetera, but they're still stubborn. They don't want to sell. Those are the people you can get deals from. And that's what, like my personal house. That's how I got that house. I'm capturing almost 250K of equity once it's all said and done. So how did I do it? I talked to the right person and I told him, you know what? It sounds like you might be able to sell it. No, I don't want to sell it. I want to either lose it or get 10K in my pocket. Okay, let's work something out. You know what I mean? So I got it done that way. Now, you're making 250K on the back end. Yeah, because I was able to negotiate the right way. That house as it stands, I can probably get a loan for like 400K and have 100K in my pocket, 120. But I don't need a loan. I'll just pay cash. So my other house, pay cash this one, sit on this one for 3-4 years and sell it for 500K. And we're good. Because I just negotiated. I knew what the house was worth. I knew what the condition of the house was. I knew what it needed to be back to where it can pass an inspection. And I knew the situation of the seller. The seller only wanted 10K. He wanted 15, I negotiated 10. Because he knew the house as this, he tried to sell it, it wouldn't sell because it wouldn't pass inspection. You know what I mean? He was either going to lose it or get 10K in his pocket. Ask yourself that question. Would you rather lose it and ruin your credit or get 10K in your pocket? And somebody else, make that issue somebody else. Yeah, give me 10K. 10K is 10K. It took me a long time to be able to earn 10K. So that's my recommendation. If you want to buy a house, do that. Look for the houses where they have great deals, know your areas, know your people, know how to talk to people, know how to ask the right questions. And yeah, never buy retail when you don't have to. Unless it's like your dream house and your wife is pushing you to get it, then yeah, again, she's gonna pull your hand to buy the house of her dreams at top dollar. But then you gotta be a sucker. You're like, man, I shouldn't have bought in that house at top dollar. Any other questions, guys? And I get congested, and this toothache. Making me think twice of eating those sweets that I love. All right, guys. Let's have a great weekend. Be safe. Be committed to do the things that make sense in life. Again, be that person that asks tough questions. Again, don't shy away from them, because again, people that shy away from tough things in life will always get eaten. Be the wolf out there. Be the one that, again, you have responsibilities. I have responsibilities to my family. You guys have responsibilities to your family. Let's get it done. If you have to be the face of the wolf, then you be the face of the wolf. Let's have a successful day, a successful weekend. Again, let's be great, guys.
Thanks,
Stay in it,
man.
guys.
Good
Thank
weekend.
you, Arturo. It was wonderful.
Likewise. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend. Be safe. Stay warm.
I'm glad you're safe.
Got my big layer jacket here. Take care.
You too. I'm glad you're safe.
Thank you, Mary.